How does Apple still not have these Samsung features with iOS 26? Let's go. Apple announced iOS 26 at WWDC not too long ago. And liquid glass Apple Intelligence cover-up aside, there is literally not a lot to get excited about, if you can even get excited about liquid glass. There is still a whole lot missing from what's, in my opinion, the most boring operating system on the planet. So I went through and looked at 5 things that it still doesn't have. First one, the most glaringly obvious one, is they have still not brought multi-window support to iPhones, which is just crazy to me. The fact that you have a 6.9-inch Pro Max and are not doing anything different as far as the operating system goes with that display is crazy. Samsung have had multi-window and a form of multi-window for generations. The ability to easily split the screen into 2 different halves, whether that be swiping up from the bottom, whether that be dragging it down into a pop-up window from either the top corner or dragging pop-up windows in from the edge panels, whether that be dragging and dropping from one window to the other in split screen format, they still don't have it. I just don't understand where the limitation in their brain is gone to, because why would you not bring that very basic common feature to the market? It can say that I don't understand why anyone want to use it. Great. They don't have to use it, but give them the option because the screen size is there. They should be able to utilize it. And of course, no close all button in the multi-window still. Not that I'm a huge advocate of using that button, but sometimes if you're not quite sure which app is causing the problem, you can just close them all and at least that refreshes everything. Just give the option for that. Second one, and I'm probably not surprised that this isn't here, it's a form of desktop experience. The ability to turn what's on your phone into sort of a desktop-like environment. Obviously, we have Samsung DeX on our side of the fence, and I'm a big advocate of Samsung DeX. I use it nearly every day, and that's not even a joke. Today, I went to a chess tournament that my son was playing in, and instead of bringing my laptop, which sort of permanently sits over here, I just brought a laptop with me. That way, I could just plug my phone into it, and I've got access to my phone. Some of you might have just said, why wouldn't you just bring your laptop? Well, the laptop, for one, doesn't have access to the internet natively, and doesn't really work well portable. Battery life's not great. Get a MacBook. No. And it just isn't necessarily a on-the-go machine as much as laptops are meant to be. Dex, the thing that's in my pocket, and the shell that's in my bag connect together, and I have access to everything on my phone in the desktop environment. It was great. I got so much work done on the table, and it's just a really productive environment to be in. So the fact that with iOS 26, there's still no sort of desktop mode or even just plugging it into a monitor and have access to a different UI doesn't exist. And I just don't know why. I mean, I do know why. They wouldn't sell iPads that way. Number 3, this one is the one I just cannot believe, Clipboard. And I looked it up. They do have a clipboard, but it's just one thing. You copy, then you paste it, done. I don't know how they can't store things in the clipboard for you to access later. I can't tell you how useful this is. In the keyboard, to go into Clipboard and see sort of a history of what's been copied, because sometimes the thing you need has been copied a few days ago, and it'll sit there waiting for you to be pasting it into the field you need it. It's so useful. And again, it's another one of those things I just don't quite understand how iOS has not adopted it. And with all this liquid glass redesign, there's still so much core functionality that's just, in my mind, basic that they have not added. I'm just waiting for them to do a keynote where they announce the clipboard as a feature and everyone will sit there and clap their hands, hopefully sarcastically, because it just should be there. Number 4 is the ability to customize the grid size on the home screen. Why can they not allow this? They've taken huge strides forward in customization. I applaud them for the fact they are giving you more, whilst at the same time also not giving you more, because they are restrictive in what they allow you to do. Samsung, in some ways, have kind of gone down that path as well. But then, when you introduce Good Lock, you then open that back up. So natively, the home screen grid size can be changed in One UI just through the home screen settings. You can go in, you can change the size of the apps. There's a couple of things you can do in there. But then the second you introduce Good Lock into the equation and Home Up, that whole world of customization just expands. You can remove the favorites bar from the bottom completely. You can add in more apps into that if you want. You've got free reign over the grid on the home screen where you can just position things freely anywhere you want. That can be chaos, but if you like to have a bit of fun, the freedom is there for you to do it. Apple's home screen, not only now is it harder to read with this new transparent liquid glass, but it also doesn't have that freeformity about it. And the last one kind of ties into that. There's still no app drawer, or at least not a very good one. The app drawer on iPhones, to me, just doesn't make any sense. They just group apps together in these sort of folders, and it's just very sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just these big tiles and apps. Samsung's app drawer, and I guess Android's by extension, is a nice, smoothly scrolling app drawer with a sort of alphabetical scroll wheel on the right-hand side. Means you can jump to the app you need. But what I like about the app drawer and then the home screen is that the app drawer is everything, which you can organize into folders. You can change it to be a horizontal swipe, sort it by customizable alphabetical order. There's options there. But then you have the home screens, which are selective. You can bring things with the home screen and customize that to sort of be the things you want to access quickly. Anything you need deeper access to, you go into the app screen and sort of scroll and find it. And then, of course, you've got the added bonus of things like the Edge panels, which you can access apps from there as well. Not only, though, did Apple, I guess, not add things that just for me would be a big giant step forward. And I imagine if they announced Dex. Just a second. Imagine if they got on stage and said, Apple Desktop for iPhone. And they showed it off on stage. You could plug your iPhone in and then you get Mac OS and the iPhone working simultaneously. I can just imagine everyone sitting there in that audience, standing ovation. And then the internet would explode and only Apple would exist for the next month while everyone's talking about it. They would have such a home run with that. I just don't know why they wouldn't do it. Again, I do know why. But not only did they not announce those things, or at least bring some form of it to iPhone, they also lifted things from the Samsung world. They announced this game app, which kind of aims to centralize all of the gaming services and apps on an iPhone into one location. Where have we seen that before? Oh yeah, Game Launcher, and now rebranded the Gaming Hub, which literally houses everything to do with gaming in one location. Nice. The other one they sort of talked about was this live translate feature, which aims to translate phone calls and messages in real time. Wow, where could they have come up with that? Oh yeah, One UI. With Galaxy AI, Samsung announced Live Translate, where you can actually go in and live translate a phone call in real time and live translate messages. And it's all there in One UI already. Cool. So at the pace Apple are developing iOS, we might see some of these features by the year 2047, which by my calculations would be iOS 48 with their new rebrand. But as of now, it still can't offer the breadth of functionality that Samsung has to offer. Now, obviously, you might say, oh, you're just a Samsung fanboy. Yeah, I am. I 100% am. I'm not denying that. I prefer what Samsung has to offer, but there's a reason I prefer it, because it allows me to do things on my phone that I haven't been able to find anywhere else. So look, one day in the future, there might be some experiment I can run where I try iOS and see if I can actually handle the deficiencies that it's got compared to what I'm used to, but not today. There's still too much on One UI's side of the fence that I love using that I'm not willing to give up, even for an experiment. If you feel that way, let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe if you're Team Samsung and become part of my Samsung community, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You!